I'd like to bring this meeting to order. I'd like to have the salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Austin, roll call.
Mayor LaPorte has been excused. Deputy Mayor Connor.
Here.
Trustee Barker.
Here.
Trustee Garrett.
Here.
Trustee Porter.
Here.
Superintendent Webb.
Here.
And Deputy Clerk Brown.
Here.
Okay, we have two meetings, previous meetings to be approved by the board. The meeting of April 13th. Do I have a motion to approve and a second?
Motion made.
Motion made by Trustee Barker, second.
I can't, Rosie.
Second, please.
Okay, Trustee Poirier, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Okay, we had a special board meeting on April 21st. Has everybody had a chance to read it? And any changes or additions or deletions? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion moved, seconded.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Poirier. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have anybody from the village to address the board? I see that there is no one at this time. So we'll go on to the mayor's report. Unfortunately, Mayor LaPorte is ill this evening, and he hasn't the report that I have to give for him. So we'll go into trustee reports. Trustee Connor, nothing at this time. Okay, Trustee Barker.
Yeah, I've got a couple things here briefly. First, I'd like to give a thank you out. I'd like to thank Calvin Castine of Hometime Cable. Calvin does a fantastic job for our community as far as bringing all our meetings, town, villages, and everything. And I think Calvin's definitely a hometown hero, and he deserves all our thanks and support. Also, I'd like to say congratulations to Dr. Southwick on his recent retirement. He's been our family doctor for everybody, I think, along with everybody else, and he's going to be definitely missed of the community, and wish him all luck in his retirement. Next, moving on, the street commissioner. Superintendent Webb and I are still working on this. There's a lot to do. Currently, we're out there cleaning the streets, and we're doing our leaf pickups, the sand, trying to figure out where our worst areas are, where we can start. Joe, do you have anything that you'd like to add to our street conditions right now, or is there anything?
No, there is an ongoing evaluation of what we can do in the future for paving all the streets in the village that are in need.
Right.
That's going to take another month or so to put together.
Yeah.
The Rouse's Point has offered and volunteered their street sweeper to help us with some of the major roads that we can't use with our equipment. Presently, they're involved just getting their own streets in shape, so when they're done, they've offered to help us out.
Great, great. As far as tools and equipment, of course, everybody knows that we, I hope they know, we just recently purchased a new backhoe, and I want to take a minute to thank Trustee Poirier. After researching and doing things here, it takes a lot of work to pull something like this together. And I know that Trustee Poirier spent a lot of time on the phone and research, and as Tools Commissioner, I just wanted to thank him and say he did a great job. I hope everything's working out. Parks and Recreation, we still got a lot of questions out there. We're open for suggestions. If there's any coaches, anybody in the public that wants to do something inside the village, please feel free to contact us, either me or Trustee Guerin, and we'd be glad to work with anybody. But just get in contact with us, let us know what you need, where you need us to go, and we'd be glad to help you out with it. Building and property, there's nothing really at this time. And that's pretty much it for me. I've got some things for executive session, but that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Barker. Trustee Garrett?
I had someone approach me. They would like to put a tree down in our park in dedication to Nancy Leclerc, who was part of our beautification in memory of her. I thought that was a wonderful idea. Everything would be donated, the work, the tree, and we just need to get permission to do such a thing. So I said I would bring it to the board and we can discuss that. Okay? And I also had someone else come to me and they would like to get a block party put together for the community up in the Chestnut, Butternut, Oak area, and what we need to do in order to do something like that, in order to close down that block, to pull the community together as a, you know, a summer social event, try and get more activity, get to know the neighbor type
Would you be
deal.
referring to the Chestnut between Butternut and Oak, Short Street?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, in that area.
Right.
A couple people on either end, Butternut and Oak, were requesting it. They were talking about it and thought it'd be a great idea for the community, a good area to
So
do
it'd be
it.
just the one street we actually shut down.
Well, we don't know the details of it, just a thought, can that be done, and, you know,
I think, and I'm not sure of this, but I think the fire department has to be notified in the event of an emergency. They know, and that's actually, that's why I asked which street. I've looked into this quite a few years ago because of traffic. And if you're between two streets, well then obvious, it's a short
Right.
street, it may, I don't know.
right,
I
now
can't
Chestnut,
answer
we
that.
closed down, 5 years ago now for the adoption party. And I forgot who we contacted, but we
Right.
got the big blocks up at the end and everything,
Right,
so
right.
no one could come into the
Sure.
party. So that would be a good area
Yeah.
to do that, because you can get at it from different
Mhm.
directions. So that was just something someone had mentioned to us, and, you know, can we do something like that, organize
like
a
a
big,
great idea.
community party. I also speaking with Mary Freeman, we definitely are gonna reinstitute the Halloween parade that we used to have. So whether, you know, we do it, if, you know, we proceed with anything over at the school, but otherwise we'll do it out of St. Mary's Gym, the same thing, parade around the block, all the little kids in their costumes and whatnot, and just really try and start getting some more community events back in again, let people know we're alive here. And I also have an item for the executive session. And that's it.
Okay. I remember the Halloween parties they've had in the past, and from what I remember, they were always at St. Mary's anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was never a problem. As far as the block party closing off the street, I'm not sure exactly what the proper procedure would be. Does anybody?
The only thing I do remember is something to do with the fire department, and the town board needs to be aware of it.
Village
board, village board needs
Yeah.
to do the approval, and I think the fire department, just because of emergency services.
And this would probably be during the summer, obviously,
Yes,
right? So maybe you can have more information at the
Right.
next meeting,
Yep.
and it can be discussed.
Is this gonna be open to the public or community, that thing?
I believe that's what they had in mind, yeah.
We should sort of our insurance.
Okay.
Okay.
And as far as the tree downtown in the park, any of the trustees have any feedback or input to that?
Oh, we have a flagpole in the middle now, don't we?
Which park do you refer to, Pockets Park?
Yeah, Pockets Park, off to the side there.
Like we
In
had
the
that,
new
in
area,
In
that
the
was-
new
a
area.
new extension to it,
Mhm.
closer to the bridge,
I
yeah,
think
because that's
that-
kind of plain there anyways.
Right, right.
And if it was done, and if it can be, I don't know, but a lot of times in planting a tree, if this is a go, if you can strategically place it so it doesn't make a lot of effort, like a tight turn because it's too close to a
Right,
fence, or, you know,
Well, they're
so a
willing
mower can get
wherever,
around it and it's
you
very
know.
comfortable, and no wires overhead,
Right.
that type thing. So there's no long-term effects.
Mhm.
I think maybe Superintendent Webb can meet with whoever to find a proper place to put that. As far as myself, I don't have a problem. I think it's a good idea.
This something needs to be voted on, does anybody
I
know?
would,
We had a similar request, what we used.
Yeah, I think we did.
That house was torn down, and I blank, I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
I mean, it never went in, but I thought it was approved. We did a little research.
I thought it was too.
I thought it was a wonderful idea,
How
since for
soon are they,
years
how
she
soon are they
worked
looking
on
to
it.
do this?
Well, it's tree planting time.
I know,
Can't wait
what
much
I'm saying
longer.
is 30 days from now,
Yeah.
is this something that,
I'm not positive. I would
No.
assume they wanna move on it as soon as they
Yeah.
can.
And my point is, if
Right.
we wait, does it go to a vote? If it does, should we?
I think we should probably vote on it, just to have it on record.
I make a
So-
motion that we allow them to plant a tree based on where Joe feels it's best.
Okay,
To
motion
go.
made by trustee Garrett,
Second.
seconded by trustee Porter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Anything else, trustee Garrett?
That's it.
Okay, trustee Poirier.
I don't have too much this evening. Spoke with the bank in Rolla Parker in regards to the district that's apparently doesn't exist, that we're looking at annexating, performing an annexation. I guess that's the right way to say that, yeah. I knew something didn't sound right.
Looking to annex.
Look, right. The bank is we're waiting on their property and grounds manager to get back with me. Rolla Parker said, fine, if that's what we need to do to comply with the law, then go for it. Since then, Superintendent Webb is putting together a package of where they can start. I've been reviewing the water sewer contracts that we have with the town. And I guess Chuck, you're on that committee with me, and so maybe we can get together, I guess.
I think we need to get together at some point very soon
Get something
and
kind
review
of
it.
drafted.
I was hoping that the mayor would be here tonight so we could discuss a little bit more, but he isn't. But I think there's a lot of questions I have,
Yep.
and I know there's a lot of questions you have, and also Superintendent Webb has a lot of questions. I don't know if all the board members were copied on that contract.
Yes. I've done
Any
that.
input would be appreciated, but the contract we have is dated from year 2002, 2003. And I know it was discussed last year. What happened exactly, I'm not sure, but somehow we didn't have a signed contract for the previous year. And that's something we're gonna have to move on very shortly.
And the other thing is, I'm still looking for a list of poles. Joe, have you had a chance to give me that list of poles that have electric service to the top and ones that don't? And how many
No,
poles we have?
I do have a copy of all the lighting, water lights,
Street lights?
street lights, and pole numbers, and I will identify which one of those has our outlets on it.
Okay. Do we have poll numbers? Did you notice?
Pole numbers are on the schedule.
Okay, it is.
Yeah, I just have to sort them out.
Confirm and whatever. Maybe Larry can give you a hint on that, because I
Yeah,
guess
sure.
he's pretty wise on which ones are where. Okay. And that's all I've got this evening, other than I've got executive session issues as well.
Can I ask
Okay.
Superintendent Webb a question I forgot to ask? On Butternut Street, at the very end, before it turns into the little street behind, which is parallel to Chestnut there, with the Southwicks are right there in the corner.
Yes.
Okay, and then yeah, it's right there. On the right there, what was done? It was like a plow came through and took down all this stuff, and it just looks horrid. I didn't know whose property it was,
Butternut
it was
and-
something we did.
And Prospect, or like
No.
Butternut and Oak? Or?
No, Butternut, and I don't know what that little street is. Coming off Chestnut, you come down Chestnut, Butternut, right down here in the corner, before you turn the corner, there's Southwicks and Koyaks. What's the name of that street? Anyone know it? Little tiny street, and they changed the names.
I don't know, but there was some damage done by private contractors who were clearing driveways and pushing snow out across the street.
Okay,
Some of that we haven't repaired yet. We will.
okay,
We're doing that now as part of the refuse pickup,
okay.
and we're identifying areas where seed needs to be planted and the ground needs to be regraded.
Okay, yeah, 'cause something major happened there, it's a big difference. And we are getting to sweeping, we said, because I know I've had a lot of people on that block say, when are they coming? 'Cause a lot of kids ride their bikes and there's plenty of wipeouts.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
And it's just, we're doing what we can with our small
Right.
sweeper, and we're going through there.
Okay.
Is that it, trustee Porter?
Yes, it is. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much. Report of superintendent.
First, I'll excuse please excuse me for my tardiness in getting the report out. I was holding off until I had a couple of things done. I don't know if you've all had a chance to look at it. There's not much new on the list. Most of the things are ongoing. Hopefully they'll be resolved, a good chunk of them in the next 30 to 60 days. There are some issues for discussion, I think, that have already been touched on, that you will all discuss in your executive session. And if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
I just want to bring up a few points that that we have mentioned before, but just so people are aware of them. One is there's 2 more leaf and brush pickup days. That's Thursday, April 29th, which already took place. And then Thursday, May 13th, this coming Thursday, there's a pickup, and also May 24th, just so the village residents are aware of that. And also, the village this week is flushing hydrants.
Yes, sir.
So people are aware of that. Make sure that if they're doing the flushing in your street, make sure you let the water run a little bit, just so you can get rid of the stagnant water.
Don't wash any whites into your shirt.
Just as a little informational
I
points.
made that mistake.
Yeah.
Any questions for our superintendent at this time?
What is happening with the property on Church Street? I read that we were going to be putting something up, and the company that's auctioning off was going to pay for this. Is this going to happen?
Yes, and I haven't done anything further on it, only because I didn't do a UFPO on it, because if we have to dry some stakes to put up barriers, I have to put a UFPO out, and I just haven't done it.
Okay.
We haven't taped off, and that's
That auction is
June
that's
23rd.
pretty soon, yeah, next month. Anything else for Superintendent Webb?
The purchase requisitions you have,
Yes, sir.
I see one in there for a demo saw.
Yes, sir.
Where was that number arrived from? What company?
There should be backup attached. One was from Sample's Garden, and the other one was from Dragoons. I hope I attached it. It's a few dollars over from what the quote is, because this is a rough quote I got over a month ago.
That's a concrete side job?
Yes,
side?
concrete, asphalt,
Right.
anything you want to cut, pipe. I wanted to split the cost between the general water and sewer, so that it wouldn't be such a big hit in one shot.
This was an item in the 2004-2005 budget, correct?
It was on my list of items I wanted to purchase. I don't know if it was included as part of the lump sum approval, but yes, it was part of my request.
It's something that we put in the budget for 2004, 2005?
I believe that was discussed in
I
our
remember
budget,
talking
yes,
about it,
yes.
yeah.
It was something that was asked for in our budget discussions, and I think that was something that we did agree that was needed.
If I could suggest, speaking with the head one of the fire...
Jim King?
Jim King, yes, thank you. Running that by him and just get some input if there's any.
I will. Before this is finalized, I'll have a hard number, so we all
Okay.
know what's going to happen.
Okay.
And
This is as close of an estimate I can come up with right now.
And just as a side note, I know all of us just received these purchase requisitions.
I understand.
And so, and it's, all these I believe are on next year's budget,
Yes, sir.
and I would like to table these until next month when we have more time to review, and then if you need to get more information that's necessary.
Is there any of them in here that's necessary?
Is there a priority list? Do you
Yeah.
have like one more important than the other?
I'm sure you want them all, Joe, but...
Well, I do, and
Well, I mean,
there's
I'm
no
looking at
specific
this,
priority.
I'm looking at this DR820, it's a water testing equipment?
Yes, it's right now we're dealing with a test kit that we have. It's like a little toolbox and it's almost like a litmus paper test. It's inaccurate. You can have pHs or phosphates anywhere from 10 to 20% off your actual readings.
But I guess what I'm saying, is there anything, like, I didn't know if this was something that we had that broke or
No, we
needed
never
major
have.
instant replacement.
Do not have one.
So is
It's not an instant replacement.
my recommendation is that we table all of these purchase requisitions until next meeting.
There's no emergencies in there?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Is that fair?
Well, I threw them out now because I knew exactly, you'd say, well, let's look at them for a while, and then we'll talk about it next month, because I didn't provide you enough backup information, but I wanted to get them on the agenda. So.
It was a good try.
That's right.
Anything else for Superintendent Webb?
A for effort.
I had a few minor items. Okay, one was that the telephone pole on the corner of Champlain Drive where it makes the bend. I noticed that light comes on and goes off. That is our light. It's not NICEX. So maybe the starter or whatever.
It's not one under the nice
No,
street lighting?
no, we put that up ourselves years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Is that one by the lift station there?
Yes, that
Okay.
So it supplies light for the lift station as well?
Well,
Off the same meter?
Yeah, actually that's where the feed is for the power from the.
It comes off
station.
that shed
Yeah.
to feed that light.
Because there was no light there and it was really dark in that area. So I noticed that it does come on and go off. Walking down the street, it went off and on 3 times,
Okay.
a couple mornings. So it's.
We'll look into it, check the wiring, and check the ballast to make sure it's okay.
And I don't know if anybody has notified you or the office about some mailboxes during the winter that were damaged.
We repaired at least 2. If there's some more I'm not aware of, let me know.
That was, okay. Yesterday there was 2 that were mentioned to me.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll
If you just
mention to you after the meeting.
give me the names or addresses or whatever. care of
And I noticed a week ago or so, a lot of smoke. Something was burning in the village. And there's no burning in the village at all. None whatsoever. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
I was after the fact.
And was anything done to discuss it with the people that were actually doing the burning?
I talked to the responsible party and there will be no more burning.
Okay. Yeah, very good.
I have one thing, Joe, also. Last month, we talked about the KC issue. What happened with that? Did we get to talk to Ms. Paquette about her part of
I
that?
did speak to Ms. Paquette. She's not in favor of spending any money to fix that line. Her consideration is it is a sewer main extension because it is a feed for 2 different services. And so I said, all right, well, I'll evaluate the cost and let the board know and see if we're not talking $200-300 in materials here, but to fix the whole problem.
Are we still looking at the $1,500? We still looking at the number that I had estimated the last time this issue came up, $50 to $100?
Yeah, I don't.
SDR pipe?
Yeah, we're just
Saddle.
talking 6-inch pipe.
Not even a
PVC.
saddle, because we're going to manhole.
Right, we're gonna
So
go,
no
go
saddle.
to the manhole.
So now you're down closer to $50.
About 50, yeah.
$100 for the pair?
Right, exactly.
That's what we need to solve that issue, though, because.
Well, I
mean,
can
if
solve the
that's-
issue if, I just didn't put a hard number together. And if I have a contract, if Ms. Paquette and KOC signs off and says, yeah, they'll pay for the cost.
Did Mrs. Paquette indicate to you that if the work was done, she'd be willing to sign off and accept a separate lateral?
Yes, she would.
Okay, I make a motion to go ahead with this project, and if Mrs. Paquette is not up to paying for it, then I don't believe the Legion should be paying, or Knights of Columbus should be paying either, and that we absorb that expense to eliminate the main extension for future liability and rectify the situation so they both have their own.
Because it's not a lateral, because it's serving more than one,
That's right.
which makes it a main. And under the terminology of sewer law, it becomes the responsibility of the village.
So maximum cost, we're looking at $100 for material.
Well, our labor, we still have labor.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
And
as
that'd be
far as
probably a
material.
day's labor.
I would estimate a good 2 2 to 3 hours for excavation and
You're lucky,
Couple hours,
half a day,
like-
but figure a day, because
Yeah.
that cement wall, you don't
That's
know what
right.
you're gonna have there.
yeah, we do have a gas line involved in that area that we have to get
Right.
UFO.
Right.
Well, we should resolve that issue, because they brought it up last month. I know the Casey's, I just saw spaghetti dinners coming up, and they do a lot of functions in the
No,
summer.
I have no problem, I'd love to start on
Actually,
it
the
and get it
summer is when
resolved.
they're slower times.
Oh, is it
You
actually?
know,
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't put on dinners in the summertime.
So I make a motion to
So that's
go
a
ahead
good
with
time
that,
to be working on.
if somebody wants to second it.
it. Okay, we have a motion made by trustee Poirier. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by
We should
trustee
take care of
Parker.
that.
Parker, excuse me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. One other thing I noticed in our correspondence we just received tonight about the bridge over Elm Street.
Yes, sir.
Or actually bridge over the river adjoining Elm and Main. That we received from Clinton County stating that we are liable for the paving of that bridge.
That is correct.
And it kind of confuses me because I always thought that the county was responsible for the bridge itself.
I did too.
And maintaining it. So I guess I was hoping that our legislator, Mrs. Paquette, would be here tonight, but she isn't, unfortunately, to mention to her. Would you maybe pass that by
I will.
Mrs. Paquette and see if she can look into it further for us?
And I do have a meeting tomorrow with the Clinton County Highway
Okay.
There you go.
officials, so I will bring it up to them to see if there's another angle to this.
Right.
And if not, can we get some coal patch in that one major hole?
That's
Do we have any
a
left?
well of it.
Do we
Well,
have
in here, yes, we do.
Okay.
You don't just be coming right back out.
But yeah, I can
Well,
do
what
it.
else can you do with it?
Well, that's what it's for, to take care of an immediate situation.
Right. Or if you have scheduled in the near future some armor coat for patching?
I do not.
You don't? So, I guess what I'm getting is just eliminate them potholes. There's some,
No, I agree, and I'm just trying not to do a Band-Aid job here and
I'm just wondering why it's happening. Is there a problem, lower lying
I
problem?
think a lot of that stuff that we're witnessing is, if there's a small crack in the asphalt due to frost removal, if it's not crack sealed, the next year the water gets in, it freezes. And
I've
that's
never
what-
seen it react like that.
Yeah, that's quite a hole
And I
there.
think-
It's never,
Right.
I've never seen it that bad.
Well, there's some expansion or something, the water got in there, and once you get a small puddle, next puddle's bigger, and then it just starts going faster rate. I know that crack's been there for a while with a pothole, but this year it's bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Okay. Move on to correspondence.
President report, please.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you may.
I have submitted to each of you the revenue and expenditure report for April. And also, you get a copy with a list of funds that need to be transferred for year end. From the general water and sewer. And that'll be, you'll need a motion for that to transfer, to allow me to transfer those funds.
transferring funds from where to where?
One account to another,
For,
so we don't have negative balance at the
Right,
year
this
end.
is always done at the end
To
of the
balance the
budget
end of
year.
the year.
That's right, yes.
The oopses.
There you go. There you
So,
go.
has anybody had a chance to review these transfers? Has anybody have any questions? Can we do them all at one time, or do we?
No, just a motion for all of them.
Okay, could I have a motion to approve the transfers from the general water and sewer accounts to the accounts in need, yeah. That is motion.
So moved?
Motion made by trustee Garrett. Second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by trustee Barker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
opposed, yes. And only because I don't agree, I mean, I know that's the way budgets work, but that's just me. I know we're not short, we're not whatever, it's just a process,
And
but,
that's a process. That's
yeah,
right.
it's a
That
process.
happens in all municipalities and all businesses.
Yeah.
Okay, it's carried.
Okay, now for correspondence. Item 1 is the supplemental lease agreement with GSA regarding the electronic sensor repeater, and this was last month's business, and Mr. Webb got the actual contract for it.
Everybody was copied on, on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any discussion? It's a 5-year lease agreement that I heard discussion about not making it 5 years, maybe 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, or?
I've read through it and I don't have a problem with it.
So we need a motion to
I'll
approve.
make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion made by trustee Parker,
Second?
second by trustee Garrett. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried.
Item 2 is correspondence from St. Mary's Mission Center requesting a culvert extension.
I don't have a problem with it. It was first it was gonna be 10 feet, and then there was 15 feet, and what really works out to be is 12 feet, because of the proximity of the end of the culvert to a gas line on Oak Street. I just didn't write up a hard bid on it because I was going back and forth with the work. We're not talking $300 roughly in material costs.
But this is,
St. Mary's Mission,
they're paying for the material.
they will pay for the materials. I haven't presented them with a hard number.
All right, okay.
If I get their agreement, does the board have a problem with me?
No, then that's the way we handle it. I just want to make
Okay.
sure that they take care of the material costs like in the past, any other.
Have to sign off on it.
Okay, as long as they sign off, then we're okay.
Yeah, I noticed they have a lot of heavy equipment parked up there also.
Well, they're doing the driveway expansion and
Are,
some other.
are we holding them back from doing anything right now?
No,
Are they
their
ready to-
truck, the semis that they deliver only come once every 2 to 3 months, and they just had their delivery last month, or last week.
So what we'll do is we'll wait and find out what the exact price is.
I'll get
see
it,
if they'll
I'll have it
sign
done
up.
tomorrow. I just didn't put a hard number on it.
Well,
I know,
the
but
actual,
we'll have to
actual,
wait another 30 days.
No,
No, they don't have to
no,
wait.
no.
no, what they said is that once they know the cost of the culvert and St. Mary's Mission signs off accepting that cost,
Then we
then
can
they
go
can go
ahead.
ahead, you can go ahead with it.
Right.
It was my mistake, I thought the board had to approve that before I could proceed, that's why.
Yeah,
That's
because
why
I
it's so
looked
late.
at it, and I mean, it's not that big of a deal, and they need
No.
it
They
up
do.
there, so, okay.
Item 3 is correspondence from New York Rural Water Association offering an on-site. Item 4 is correspondence from the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. Item 5 is request from Real Bedard to discontinue water sewer service on North Street.
There's,
Joe,
No problem with that, then.
okay.
Have they finished?
They finished what they're doing, actually, we're gonna go down there next week, just to make sure there's no breakage in the sewer line down there.
Okay.
So we can take care of this?
Yes.
Item 6 is correspondence and catalogs from Tisdale Associates regarding Rouse's Point's water tank.
Is there an attached amendment to this or something, or is there?
There was a report that came with this, and I got it from the files, and I have a copy of that. Well, there was one copy that came.
It's just the specs on the water tower, is that what it is?
It's an old
It's
inspection
technical,
report.
what it is technical information that I requested, and I've got this one page also. It's technical information that I need to get on the water tower
Right.
for further research and development. When Joe asked me about it, I guess he found it, the girls had it in Memphis.
So I didn't know if it came to you.
Yes, I requested it, and I had to mail it to the village office so I would have my hands on
Okay.
it to present it to you, but I guess you've got it in.
I have
this,
it
right?
now, and I'll make another copy of it. Well, I'll give you the original, make a copy for my file.
So the purpose of this is,
Just down the road and possibilities.
okay.
The water tower that we've been discussing,
No, what I'm just saying is, we haven't got any prices or.
that's what
costs.
this information is for, more research on the structure of it, the design,
Mhm.
how it can be lifted, torn down, moved. We have no information on it.
Okay.
See if it's a feasible project or not.
I get, yeah.
To put the numbers
Find out,
together.
right, and that's what we need is the numbers.
That's right.
Okay.
Item 7 is correspondence from the Friends of the North Country regarding the hazard mitigation program and grants.
That letter was previously responded to by this office, so we're really waiting to hear back from them.
is agreement between the town of Champlain and Northeastern Clinton Central School dedicating and releasing the sewer line to the town for their use to form a district. This is brought in by Supervisor Wallace the other day.
Joe, on this, is there a sewer water district number 5?
No,
There isn't.
not with the New York State Comptroller's Office
So what they
or
want
with
to
the
do,
DEC.
they want to establish their own water district, but it's not there now.
It's not there now.
What I understand of this, as far as, I guess from what I understand or what Joe had said to me, they came in and said they do have a district or whatever. This is just an agreement between the town and NCCS stating that they want to do this. This is no documentation.
Yeah, this is not-
Comptroller's Office, NICOM, or DEC, or Board of Health has no records as
Has
of
no
this.
records. So this is just an agreement between 3 parties
Yeah.
saying they would like to do something, but
That's
so
right.
it's no way a legal document
No.
that says they have.
No, doesn't establish a water district.
It doesn't establish.
Does not.
That's right.
Because we do know that everybody does, we'll be talking to the NCCS shortly on our behalf.
That's right. We have an appointment, Paul and I have an appointment. Well, you happen to be there.
Well, anybody got it.
Anybody can be there.
June 11th will be the next board meeting when they want to bring this issue up. And it's, I mean, we need to be prepared to tell them, you know, if this is not really a legal contract, we've got to be able to explain it to them that it's not a legal contract.
Well, early in the month, I issued a report on water sewer districts that are
Right.
established and not. That's one of the issues we need to decide how we want to proceed with.
Okay, thank you.
Item 9 is correspondence from Mr. and Mrs. Walker regarding the purchase of village property.
Does anybody have any?
I was surprised by
Actually, yeah,
this. I have to tell you, I was surprised. I knew that we had property up by where our power plant,
Exactly.
the hydro plant was. And I've been looking at that because we wanted to do some research on using that power plant. I mean, basically, almost everything's there what we need. I didn't realize we owned this additional property.
It's a finger that extends up along that way.
Right, it's actually right across the street from Bayshard's farm up there on the Paris Mills Road, isn't it? I believe.
I did not go look at it.
Yeah,
I looked at the map they provided, and
I know,
that's,
but,
it's roughly, yes.
My only concern with this is if, for some reason, this water sewer, or the power plant, if we can get this hydro thing running, if it all works out, we could really use this land to help us with access. If we need to run cables through there or something, for myself only, I think until we find out what we're gonna do with the hydro plant, I think the land right next door to it should probably not be touched as of now. I mean, that's my personal opinion, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but just in case we need that access or something arises, it'd be easier if we owned it than to have to go through a private owner. So, I don't know what everybody else thinks about
Well,
this issue or.
I would like to, you know, actually, I would need to go up there to see the property itself, but at this point in time, I don't think, personally, I don't think we should be selling property at this time, just to sell property. There was a reason why we had it before, so, I mean, I just hate to get rid of it at this time, unless there was no need whatsoever now or in the future that we'd have need for the property, and that would have to be researched.
I agree. We have no expense there at this point.
No, and it is waterfront property, actually. I have taken a ride up to look at it, and it is right along the water. I mean, who knows down the road, maybe we could do something with it as far as something for the community or something, a picnic area, or, I mean, who knows? I have one question. Do we have any more of these? Is there any more little parcels around
I have
the
not
village?
put together the whole village property parcels around the village. It's
At
something
one
I'm trying to
time,
get
the
updated with
village
the tax
did do
map.
that. There was a list of all the parcels that the village had, and between the land around the wastewater plant, the water plant,
Well, what I would like to see would be, even if it's a map similar to this, which this is pretty much just a tax map, is copies like this where they could be mounted, say, on a wall somewhere, and list them, wastewater plant, hydro plant, village office, and so on. I mean, just, why not? When we refer to something, it'd be nice to be able to visualize and put up a picture with a place.
Yeah, I'm just concerned if we have it, I'd like to find out if we have any more of these little
And
parcels
there may be
around.
something on file somewhere, because I know at one time, all the village properties were documented.
Yeah.
And it was a long, long time ago. I think it's something that probably Bob Sullivan did years ago.
But, you know, even
And I
if-
was surprised that we had as much property as we had.
Right, and that's what I mean, it's good reference to keep busy on. You know, even a map like that, just highlight the area and.
Yeah, give you an idea of what we
Just
really
look.
do
That's
have.
it.
But yeah,
Well,
down the road, that's.
just so you're kind of off the track a little bit, what I have done is I've talked to a blueprint reproducer or digitizer over in Vermont who I'm going to slowly start sending all plans over to and getting all plans updated. And at the same time, we're going to put all the plans on a CD for us so that we have an archive of all the plans that we know of documented for whatever, from any projects we've done in the past, plus tax maps and marked up tax maps. And that'll take a good 3-4 months to even
Right.
close to that. But as soon as I get Clinton County to release their new digitized tax maps, we'll start on that work.
Great. Well, it's just something to keep in mind, you know, it's definitely, we should know what we have out there. That way we can utilize it if we
Yeah,
need to.
anybody wants to come in, they can pull it up on the computer and just make a copy of that section they need.
Right. Good.
Should we table this issue or
Uh,
on response?
maybe we table until we have more information. At this-
I don't see any reason why we couldn't make a decision. I mean, unless we should have Albert here as well to be a full board in selling this property. I don't see any reason. It's not a liability to us. We're,
Yeah.
you know, is it a situation where they don't have enough land to build or whatever? It doesn't look like it by the map. They just want more property, and that's fine. So I would say, rather than table it and deal with it, make a decision now, if that's procedure. I don't know.
Yeah, this is something that's never really came up before, as far as I'm aware of, as far as a request to purchase village property.
Well, the other thing too, you know, what do they want to use it for? You know, if it's just so that they own it, you know, if we sell it with an easement right, you know, for the hydraulic is what you're talking about.
I could
If it's just
understand that if
sitting
we
there,
had a
we're not using
liability,
it.
if we had a major liability, we have no expense there.
Mhm.
And I know it's been a long time since anybody's done anything with
But
it,
we
and I
could
should have been on it
generate
a
some
year ago.
revenue to use for other things.
That's what the angle to that whole thing is up there, is if hydro doesn't work, what's our next option?
Mhm.
And if we partial some of this off, it's only be shooting us in the foot. At this point, until we know what direction we're going in.
Okay, so
No,
why don't we just,
I mean, if it was an issue, well, geez, we've gotta, you know, get rid of some land, then I'd say, yeah, let's table it, get more information, but we're not really looking to sell off any land that I know of.
I think first we have to figure out what we all have before we
Right.
decide we're gonna sell out.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I mean, there's nothing to sell, I don't know why.
I would either table it, but for myself personally, like I said, I mean, it's nothing that, for the people that'd like to purchase it, it's nothing, but, I wouldn't be personally interested in getting rid of anything right now. I'd like to keep all village assets in the village until we can get a better idea of what we have and what we don't have, or how we could use it,
Right.
or maybe better use it. Or if we could, you know, we always have, the Walker family on record as being interested, and if we decided down the road we wanted to sell it, then of course, you know, seeing they wrote to us, we'd give them first offer.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to send them a letter stating that at this time, we're not in an informational position to make any decisions like that, but should it become available in the future, we would be more than happy to entertain the matter.
Okay,
I'd second the motion.
all right. Motion made by Trustee Porter, second by trustee Barker. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay.
Who's going to issue that letter? Okay. One less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I don't have to do it, it's fine with you.
Correspondence 10 is to cross-border development with annexation information, and there was also an issue to partnership rules.
The ball's in their hand now, Joe. They have all the information they need to do whatever they need to do.
Yes.
And so
We're evaluating it and seeing if it's what they want to do.
Item 11 is notice of violation from the Clinton County Health Department, and there was a response from Superintendent Webb.
The violation wasn't there. We did not have a violation.
It was just
It
wrong
was a
month.
typo on date on one of the forms.
Have they responded to remove it from the record?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Old business. We have the water tank proposal cleaning. I see that was one of the purchase requisitions you had.
Yes.
Uh,
There were 3 proposals in there.
I think what we'll do, there are 3 proposals. Again, we didn't have time to review them. So we'll definitely move forward on those at the next meeting.
Yes.
What kind of time frame is that normally, this water tower cleaning?
It depends on which one you talk to, which one of these vendors. One guy's
So does the
booked for
vendor?
2 or 3 months, another guy can be here in 2 or 3 weeks.
No, that's not what I mean.
I'm sorry.
My question is, for us, what is our procedure? Is it once a year, every 2 years, 10 years?
Excuse me, American Water Works recommends that you have the tank cleaned at least a minimum anywhere from 3 to 5 years, once every 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
what's our practice been in the past? We do it spring,
Last time I know,
fall.
we did it
winter.
roughly 5 years ago. It doesn't matter what,
Doesn't matter when you do it.
it's better to do it in the warmer season.
What
But I
is
mean,
work?
after we flush the hydrants, that would be something that you would,
what-
I like to get it done before the fall flushing, because that way I have the tank clean, and then I can do a flush almost from the tank out. So I wouldn't be flushing into the sediment buildups in the tank. I'm missing the point here, go ahead.
No, you're okay. I'm just
I
trying.
see that,
What is-
I see the roll of the eyes, and
What is the legal end of it? Does Board of Health say you need to have this done or you don't? Is this something that we're doing just because somebody thinks it's a good idea? And what did they find at the last time? I heard some talk about that was very minimal.
I don't have a report from the last time. Well, if there is one, I haven't found it yet.
I've heard talk about it, I haven't seen it, but from what I understand, it was very minimal, you know, whatever was going on up there, and I don't know how long before that had been done, but the last time was done 5 years ago when they did it. I don't know what time frame before that minimal result.
You're talking about like sediment in the bottom of the tank.
That's what they do, they go in and they hose it out, pretty much.
Yeah, they do a suction of the bottom of the tank.
they use a diver, don't
Yes, they do.
Well, they call it, they're not actually underwater. Am I correct?
No, they are. They actually dive.
Okay, so they do it with water in the tower?
Yes.
They do.
And we can't empty our tank towel.
Well, there was a bypass thing that was talked about too. I remember with Bob talking about it.
Well,
So I guess what I'm saying is, okay, it's been 5 years. Can we find out when it was done prior to that, number one? So we know that if it was done 5 years before that, and in 5 years they found minimal and what the results were, we'll know approximately where we stand now. And if there's any requirements by the Board of Health, would be the only jurisdiction in that area?
Yes, it would be the Board of Health.
Board of Health.
Clinton County Board of Health.
So if you could make a call, I guess,
Yes.
and ask them, geez, what is?
Well, I have, and they recommend it every 3 to 5 years. I haven't found where it says
There's
you
nothing
have to.
mandated,
Right.
nothing, just as, okay.
If nothing else, you should have it surveyed, if not clean, just to make sure there's no structural
Safety.
fault.
Sure. They do that as well, this cleaning
Yes.
company?
This one that I think I'm going to choose does a video of the
Of the
entire
inside.
process, right?
And they're trained for structural,
They are, they're
Okay.
certified to do that.
that was a 23, 26?
20, well, 2550.
20, yeah.
The previous company that done the work for us here was roughly $600 over that.
Bill, when it was done 5 years ago, do you know if it was structurally tested or just clean?
I don't know.
Don't know. Let's wait.
Well, we are, I mean, that's what I said.
Well, I was just looking at other,
We have to,
Is
you
it
know,
something that even-
evaluate and review what we got.
Well, the other second purpose of this for me is that I need some interior documentation of how that tank was built, because the plans we have aren't as-built, and there are some configurations of the piping for the inflow and outflows I'm not sure of, and how the outflow valving works there. It's not on the plans. So that'll be part of the video too, that I've asked them for.
if we can find the test results from 5 years ago.
I'll look. I did a quick search. I didn't see him. Maybe I never asked Donna. And Donna is the best detective I know him right now, so she can find anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item number 2, the steam plant system bill. Anything new on that?
No.
Okay.
Actually, I was going to issue a whole telemetry report of the history of this, and with that, I'm going to write steam plant systems a final letter of our position, which is that we don't owe anything, if nothing.
If anything,
For parts.
if they want to be technical about it, if
Right.
anything, they owe us. But
I'll try to have that letter right now before the end of the week.
And we already discussed this, the water sewer contracts. No. We discussed a little more later. Any new business bringing before the board? Actually, is there any other old business? Trustee what?
Well, I have new business. St. Mary's School over here has a pile of brush that they were not able to bring out to the street because of the volume of it. They piled it up over there where they're going to have their booths and that sort of thing. And Father Seymour asked if we could go over there and help them get it off or moved away from where they're going to have their bazaar and everything.
who cut this brush?
I guess
they did.
Volunteers.
Volunteers.
Volunteer. Now, I didn't go over and look at the pile. I was going to do it
It's
after
huge.
work today.
It's to the top of the booth in the middle, and at the end, we took all that brush from behind down.
Did they cut that brush right down to the ground?
Yes.
Or did they trim it?
And they cut it right
Cut
down.
it right to the ground?
Yeah.
Because we're picking that up every year, aren't we?
Usually they bring it out to the
They
street.
bring
I
it
Bring out the
understand.
street where you
But this
couldn't
volume was too
possibly.
much.
Yeah, it would
Yeah, I
block
saw the
traffic.
file, it was
Yeah.
huge. It was huge.
Why did they go so radical? They do it in sections and bring it out to the street?
I don't know, but I know that when we run the bazaar, we have problems with kids behind there all the time. And then we had the grills stolen, very expensive grills out of those booths, so it's opened up and people can see any action down there now. Before, kids could easily hide right behind the brush, go into the booths, do whatever damage they wanted to do, and every year we find something major.
Well, actually, this is something that we need to get onto because.
I have no problem taking care of it, but I think this is something the board would have to.
Well, we have to
tell me
look
it's
at, we have
okay.
to look at this sensibly because
You're going on private property.
we're
is
going
the
on
basic
private
law.
property, number one, and we're handling a decision that was made by somebody to cut a pile of brush and leave it there, and now have no ways of moving it and depending on, and I'm glad to help them if we can, but there were some decisions made there that put them in harm's way, and now we're kind of expected to bail out, bail them out. And I'm kind of like, if all the property owners should bring it to the street, we can make exceptions, but if we start doing that, what happens when
Well, most
Racine
people's
cuts a
homes
brush
are right
line and puts it
there,
out by
you
the
know,
road?
it's-
You know,
it's-
Well,
Well, we never limited anyone from what they can put out for brush. It's just a size.
There's never been a volume restriction.
It's not
Right.
that it's limited as far as what, you know, what's there, it's just where it is the issue, I believe, and
Easy to get at. You can drive the truck right down the tarmac. There would be no
I have
problem
no
for
problem
the
bringing the
truck.
truck and putting the forks
Yeah.
on the New Holland and picking it up, but I just need your okay to do that.
you know, because you are on a timeline, as we know. We're looking at, it's gonna be done before the
Well, I definitely
next 2
make a
weeks,
motion
or-
because this is a huge event that the whole community enjoys. And
I
it's the
agree.
only big thing that we have
I
in
do
town
agree
that's
with you.
exciting.
I think anytime we can help out one of the organizations in the community that does so much for the community, we should try and do that.
Yeah, maybe later on we could come up with a different idea or something. Well, if they cut all the brush down, we
It's
shouldn't
done.
have this problem
It's
next
done,
year.
yes.
So, I mean, it's one last time
It
to
would've
clean
been-
it up and get it out of there for them.
So, does anyone have a motion to allow the Department of Public Works to pick this brush up?
So moved.
Okay, motion made by trustee Garrett, second.
I'll second.
Seconded by trustee Barker, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay. Any other new business? Any other new business? Okay. Could I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss contractual agreements and personnel issues?
So moved.
Okay, motion made by trustee Garrett,
Second.
second by trustee Porter, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, we're back into a regular session after our executive session, and the only thing we have left is the presentation of warrant and payment. Is there any questions, concerns on our warrant for this evening?
One question, individual software, anytime organizer,
That's mine.
that's yours?
That's the one I ordered that I use for
Flagging.
daily record keeping, flagging, appointments, whatever.
Okay. Dog catcher, Town of Moores, do we have invoices? Did we get bills on
Oh,
that?
I know, but that's a yearly contract, we have for $3,000. We haven't paid him the amount that checks would be issued. We want to hold him. But that has to come out of this year's budget.
Okay, I remember discussion about this on another board meeting, we were all in agreement. They finally did send us an invoice or report, so we released payment. Now we have 2 more bills with no report.
And it's your choice to pull it off. It's exactly what you
Right,
should
and
do.
that's what I'm getting
And
at.
tell me to hold the checks.
That's right, because I think we all agreed and we're all on the same page until, I guess what we should do is until we have a bill, it shouldn't even be on here, I guess.
And you get a bill.
Until we get an invoice, a summary of a report of what was done in these terms.
Well, then maybe we should just tell him to send us a quarterly report.
I think
That's what we
I think
did.
we already
We
did that.
did
I thought-
this.
I thought we already, we agreed that he
No,
was.
we asked him to bring that report in and then a second one, but we never said on a regular
We,
basis.
we said that we do not pay bills unless we have an invoice and we wanted a report from it. Because you explained, well, geez, that's through the Town of Moores, it'd be the dog catcher. Then fine. The dog catcher, when he sends his bill, we need a report monthly, every 3 months, whatever it was, to give us an idea of what he's done in this time
Every
frame.
3 months.
Every 3 months.
So we have something to back up, you know,
That's
the
right.
actual payment, yes.
That's right.
And that's how I understood, and
That's
I
right.
could be wrong, but,
No, I think
But it
you're
had to
right.
go on there, and it has to be held just to show that
yes.
it's part of this year's bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe that's it. Yep. So I make a motion to, is that a motion? A vote then? I make a motion to remove the Town of Moore's dog control. The 2 items, voucher number 470. I guess that's, is that how you identify it, Jan?
Or no,
Yes.
just say hold the 2 bills to the Town of Moore dog catcher until we receive their invoices.
Until we receive their
Okay.
invoices.
Okay, do I
I
have
make a
second?
motion. Excuse me.
Second.
Okay, seconded by trustee Garrett. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the warrant with revisions?
So moved.
Okay, motion made by trustee Garrett, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Corey, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried.
Aye.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by trustee Porter, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Garrett. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.